Hi, everybody, and welcome to our Early Ed Town Hall. I'm Ceci Serna, and I'm the Early Education Coordinator here for Isleta ISD. And today I'm joined by Leslie Armbruster and Greg Hare from our amazing SPED department, and Norma Blasquez from our amazing academic language program. So we're very happy you're here, and we're going to talk to you about our fantastic early ed programs and make sure that you know everything you need to register and answer any questions that you may have. Okay, so you have the link there for the information for our programs. Please note that this session is being recorded and will be posted on our district website. Any questions you have, you can post your questions in the chat. We're going to monitor those throughout the presentation to make sure you get the answers you need, okay? And for more information, we want you to add your name and email address to the chat to receive follow information on registration and upcoming events. So today, we're going to define what are the programs that YISD offers, okay? And then we're going to talk about eligibility. Who's eligible for preschool, our 3-year-old program, who's eligible for pre-K, our 4-year-old program, and who is eligible for kindergarten. We'll talk about the curriculum that we use. We'll talk about the schedules, which one is a half-day program, which one is a full-day program. We'll talk about locations. Where in the district are these 3-year-old classrooms for preschool, and where are the 4-year-old classrooms for pre-K? And then we'll talk about what you need to do to enroll, okay? So we offer kindergarten for children that are 5 years old by September 1st. We offer pre-K for children that are 4-year-olds by September 1st. And we offer preschool for children that are 3-year-old by September 1st. Now, our preschool program is a half-day program, and you must meet the federal eligibility requirements. Okay, now these are general education age requirements. If your child is going to be enrolling in our SPED units, Leslie will go ahead and talk to you if you have any questions about those, okay? So what are the federal eligibility guidelines? We talked about how for the 3-year-old preschool, you have to qualify. So they're on your screen right there, and it says that a child must be 3 years of age on or before September 1st of the current school year and meet at least one of these requirements. So you only need to meet one to qualify for preschool, our 3-year-old half-day program, okay? One of them is that your child is unable to speak and comprehend the English language. Your child is eligible for free or reduced price lunch. They're homeless. They're the child of an active duty member of the armed forces. They're the child of a member of the armed forces who was injured or killed while serving on active duty. Your child has been in the conservatorship of the Department of Family and Protective Services, or your child, the parent was a recipient of the Star of Texas Award, and those go to peace officers who were injured or killed in the line of duty. I do want to just note that for the 3-year-old preschool program, you have to qualify. For the 4-year-old pre-K program in Isleta, it is universal. We will accept your child, but the attendance clerk is going to ask you for proof of income and different documents just to see if you meet the guidelines, and that will give the district compensation for your child. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Norma from our Amazing ALPS program, and she's going to talk to you for a little while about the home language survey.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. My name is Norma Blasquez, just like Ceci stated, and I am from the bilingual department, academic language program, and I'm just going to review a little bit connecting to what Ceci was talking about, the eligibility as an emergent bilingual. Okay, so and one of those, it's unable to speak and comprehend the English language. So we based it, the first component there for us to have that the child is unable to speak and comprehend the English language. You're given a home language survey. Okay, the home language survey is part of your registration packet, or when you register online, you'll have two questions there. The first two, which language are used at home and which languages are used by the child at home. The campus, once you the registration is or online, and the registrar has access to that at the campus. They will be contacting you and sending you a paper or home language survey that we kindly ask that you return. And this home language survey has the 3 questions that I'm about to read. Which languages are used at home? Which languages are used by the child at home, and if the child had a previous home setting, which languages were used. So if you kindly ask those 3 questions, that's part of the questionnaire. And if there is any other language other than English listed in any of those 3 questions, the campus must proceed with assessing your student for the English language proficiency. And the assessment that we use the assessment that we use is the pre-LAS. It is used to assess the English proficiency, like I previously said. If the student qualifies, they will be coded limited English proficient, or LEP, or what we have our new terminology, emergent bilingual, and they will be included as part or reviewed as part of our LPAC, and the student will therefore, depending on the review and the qualifications, once they review, and the student will be taken after that TELPAS until they meet the state mandated exit criteria. And I'll go ahead and go into details a little bit on that on the next couple of slides. Keep in mind that a parent can deny services, but the code of emergent bilingual or LEP cannot be removed, okay, at your request. The other bullet under there is the Language Proficiency Assessment Committee, which is your LPAC, will recommend the required bilingual or ESL program for the student that is being identified as an emergent bilingual. And I think here we lost right here our presentation, but let me see, I can continue. Let's see with our presentation here. Let's see. Let me present. Give me 1 second and share my screen. Give me 1 second right here real quick and see what happened. I think I'm able to share. I don't know if oh, sorry. Bye-bye. Let me just make sure I can present from here. I do apologize for this. There we go. I think we're back on. I really, truly apologize. I think we have the presentation back on. So based on, again, on these questions, we can move on the next. The committee will recommend the required bilingual ESL program services. And then on the following slide, we'll go ahead and give a note that let me see if I can scan it from here. I think we're having a little bit, I apologize, of difficulty there. But in continuing with the home language survey, the next slide there will note that once we have this home language survey, just note that the parent does not have to give us permission to actually give you or provide that proficiency test for the student. Okay, parent can make the corrections, and this is a very important note here on the bottom. Parents can make corrections to the home language survey only if the child has not yet been assessed for the English proficiency test, or the correction, or because they both have to be present. Corrections are made within 2 calendar weeks of the child's enrollment date. Right right under on the right-hand side, I placed some QR codes that TA, Texas Education Agency, has released, because they just released the new home language survey. And for your information and convenience, it explains the parent and guardian rights in regards to the home language service, and then the process that I'm explaining to you here, in case you want to just hone in into those QR codes and get a little bit more information. So whenever you do fill this information, fill it out in the application, you're very well informed of the process. Okay. Right here, like I said earlier, once the student is coded, of course, they would have to meet the exit or reclassification criteria, so we can remove that LEP or the emergent bilingual code. And that only occurs at the end of the school year, beginning with first grade. Okay, so it can happen in pre-K, cannot happen in kinder, but at the end of first grade, the student we will review the student to see if the student qualifies for that exit criteria there. Okay, it also applies in second grade. And then as I read the bullets, a composite score of advanced high in the Texas English Language Proficiency Assessment, which is the TELPAS. And for first grade, when there's no STAR, first and second grade, an Iowa assessment is an indicator that will be used to see if they meet the qualifications to reclassify or exit. If they're in grades 3 to 12, where there is a STAR assessment, we will use that, and they would have to have a passing level in the STAR reading in English and positive results from a teacher evaluation, which is a rubric. At the bottom here, just for your information, we do highlight the proficiency levels that are used in TELPAS, and their proficiency levels beginning, intermediate, advanced, and advanced high, and the descriptions there. So like I said, they do have to meet the advanced high proficiency level. So it's there for your criteria to review for your reference. Okay, just one note at the end, parents, again, can deny placement in a bilingual or ESL program. However, once the student is identified as an English learner or emergent bilingual, the student will remain with that code or code of limited English proficient or emergent bilingual until they meet that required exit criteria that I just reviewed with you guys. And then after that, then they will be coded as a non-emergent bilingual student. This is true regardless of the program or placement. So once they're coded, this will remain true until they meet the reclassification criteria. And I'll pass it back to Ceci for that preschool and collaboratives.
Thank you, Norma. Let's go ahead and talk about preschool. So our preschool program is for our 3-year-old children. They need to be 3 by September 1st. We have some amazing preschool programs and collaboratives. So let's take a little bit of a deeper look and see what is available here in the district. Okay, so our preschools, we have best practices here in Isleta. We have knowledgeable staff. We have certified teachers and certified aides in every single preschool classroom. Okay, and that's important because we want to make sure that we have a small student to staff ratio. So the state requires 11:1, but in Isleta, we have a 7:1 ratio. So we are even below the ratio of the state for our preschool classes, okay? We have research-based methods. We follow early childhood outcomes. We're aligned with the pre-K guidelines. The state has guidelines for 3-year-olds, and we follow those. We have a curriculum that we purchase that is specifically for 3-year-olds. Our 3-year-olds are part of a campus community. They're enrolled in a school, so they give access to everything that everybody else in the school does. They go to the library, they go to PE. If there's a special event like Dr. Seuss Week, they participate in all of that. So they're very much embraced as part of the campus culture. And then, of course, we always have inclusion for our special needs student. So remember that these are for our 3-year-olds, and it's a half-day program, okay? So what's the schedule for these 3-year-old programs? So they come to school 187 days, just like everybody else, okay? Classes from Monday through Friday. There is an AM session, a morning session, and an afternoon session. It's a half-day program. The morning session is from 7:30 to 11. The afternoon session is from 11:30 to 2:45, okay? Now, we do have some students that that attend school a full day because they are part of a partnership with Head Start. So if those students come, let's say in the morning to pre-K to preschool, and then in the afternoon they go to Head Start, or vice versa, they go to Head Start in the morning and preschool in the afternoon. Now they have to register independently for both. So they register for preschool in Isleta, and then they go to Head Start and they register for Head Start. And then we communicate between both entities so that we can bus the children from one to another, and that entitles the children to a full day of instruction, and they have to qualify for both. Okay, that's really important. So you have to qualify not only for preschool, but you also have to qualify for Head Start. Okay, so where are these amazing preschool classes at? Okay, at Sageland, we have a mono and dual language. So dual language means that the campus that is the language that is spoken in that class is Spanish. Okay, so at Sageland, we have a mono and dual language class. At Scottsdale, we have a monolingual English only class. At Isleta Pre-K, we have a mono and dual language classes. In fact, we have more than 2 classes there. We have 3. At Parkland Pre-K, we have a mono and dual language class. At Tierra del Sol, we have a mono English only class. And at Edgemere, we have a mono and dual language class. So we have classes spread out all over the district, okay? So no matter what feeder area your child lives in, they can attend school here in Isleta. And it's important also to note, and I'm going to say this again, that you do not have to live within the boundaries of Isleta for your child to attend school in Isleta. We have a lot of early ed students who live in other districts, and they are transfer students, and they come to school here in Isleta. Okay, here's a quote from a very happy parent that said that our children left the Isleta Preschool Collaborative Program with a strong foundation and a love for learning. We have amazing preschool programs. The teachers do such a great job with the students. They become independent learners. They love coming to school. They're happy. It's just a really successful program. And every year our numbers are growing and growing. So this is really a great choice for those of you who have a child that is 3-year-old by September 1st. Okay, now let's talk about our pre-K and kindergarten programs. So these are the programs for children that are 4 by September 1st or 5 by September 1st. Okay. So what does pre-K and kinder look like in Isleta? So we have full day pre-K and kindergarten, and you do not have to qualify for either pre-K or kindergarten, okay? We offer a safe environment. That's very important. We offer in preschool, in pre-K and kinder, in all of our early ed programs, we always work towards having a safe environment for our children. We have certified teachers for all of our classrooms. Okay, for pre-K, we have a certified teacher assistant. So we really work hard to stay true to that 11-to-1 in pre-K ratio that the state recommends. Okay, we have engaging curriculum for pre-K and for kinder. We meet the TEKS and pre-K guidelines that TEA sets. Okay, and we have instruction in literacy, math, science, and social skills. And pre-K in Isleta is universal, so you don't have to live within the boundaries. You don't have to qualify. We will accept your child, okay? But remember that the attendance clerk is going to ask you for documents, important documents, so that we can see if we qualify for compensation for your child. Okay, where are our pre-K sites? We're in 17 schools, okay? And they're there on the screen: East Point, Eastwood Heights, Edgemere, Glen Cove, Lancaster, Loma Terrace, Parkland Pre-K, Pasodale, Pebble Hills, Presa, REL Washington, Riverside Elementary, Sageland, Scottsdale, Tierra del Sol, Vista Hills, and Isleta Pre-K. Okay, 15 elementary schools and 2 pre-K centers. Parkland Pre-K and Isleta Pre-K are pre-K centers. So they have programs for preschool and pre-K, but they do not have kindergarten. Those students move on to kindergarten at the elementary schools, okay? Where do we have kindergarten? So you can see all of the kindergarten sites there. We have kindergarten at every elementary school. We have pre-K in all of the feeder areas, so there's plenty of chances for any student to attend and then move on to kindergarten. Okay, what do you need to register? Okay, so remember that for general education students, one of the big things is the birthday. Okay, so in order to register for our half-day preschool program, your child must be 3 by September 1st. Okay, in order to register for our 4-year-old pre-K program, which is a full-day program, your child must be 4 by September 1st. And in order to register for our full-day kindergarten program, your child must be 5 by September 1st. So the age is really important, and that's a TEA mandate. Okay, well, how old are they by September 1st will determine the grade that they attend for general education. On the right-hand side, you have the documents that the clerks are going to ask you for. Okay, they're going to ask you for a ID for the parent, the child's social security card, the child's updated immunization record, the child's original birth certificate, your current month's utility bill, proof of income if military, and then the campus will reach out to you, of course, if they need any additional information. So you are going to register online, and then you're going to upload all of these documents so that they're ready to go, and the clerk can go ahead and verify those. Here's some questions, frequently asked questions, and this may be some of the questions that you have, okay? Number 1, do I have to live within the YISD boundaries for my child to attend full-day pre-K, preschool, or kinder at Isleta? So no, Isleta ISD is open enrollment. So we welcome transfer students from all over the region, and we have plenty of students that come to Isleta from our neighboring districts. How do you register on April 1st? So if you have seen our social, our campaigns on social media, you'll know that registration opens on April 1st. You're going to log on to Isleta ISD, and there'll be a link there to register. This is the link right here also, okay? So remember that you can register on April 1st. You're going to register online, and it opens on April 1st. Will the school contact me once I have completed the online registration process? Once you have completed the online registration process, and that also includes uploading those important documents, the school will go ahead and contact you once it's complete, and then you'll receive an email. Okay, and I love the little flag that's showing on the bottom that shows you that online registration opens April 1st, and then there's the website for Isleta. Does my child have to be potty trained to attend school? That's a frequently asked question, okay? For the safety of your child and others, it is highly recommended that children be potty trained. Accommodations can be made for medical or disabling conditions. Contact your campus for information and resources. So it's highly recommended that they're potty trained, and we have resources. We even have potty training classes that you can attend to help, so that we can help you potty train your child. Okay? Who can I contact if you have questions? Once you register, you're going to contact the campus directly for more information on uniforms, school supplies, and schedules. Okay, so that's going to be handled directly with the campus. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put up a link for the online registration, the online interest form. Okay, so if you click on this interest form, you're going to tell us that you are interested in having your child attend either preschool or pre-K here in Isleta. And that helps us with our planning. That tells us there's this many people that are interested in attending in this campus. That also helps our attendance clerks. If they don't see your registration, they may call you and say, Mr. Gonzalez, I saw that you were interested in attending pre-K in Edgemere. I don't see your registration form. Are you interested in attending? What can I help you with? Okay, so that online interest form is for us internally to help us process the number of people that are interested in the different sites. Okay, that's important, but the most important date on there is April 1st. Okay, Everybody has to register online. If you submit an online interest form, that's fantastic. We encourage you to do that, but everybody has to register online. Okay? The online interest form is not enough. You have to register online, and registration opens on April 1st. Okay? And this year, on July 28th, that's the first day of school. So we're going to be really excited to meet all of your amazing 3, 4, and 5-year-old children that are going to be part of our Isleta family. We lovingly call them our littles. And we're really proud of everything that they are doing and how happy they are being part of the Isleta family. So on July 28th, we welcome everybody. Okay? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and show you this video that talks about the power of early education, okay? And it's a testimonial from one of the parents.
You know, I was a parent that thought that I was going to wait till kindergarten. I wanted to keep my son and daughter for a year, you know, more and more year. But I think it's something that it's very important that we do, start him at pre-K. So something that I've learned from my son is that once he started here, he completely gained confidence. They taught him how to be confident, how to be himself. I think it's very important that at this early age, they're taught to be respectful, especially to respect their friends, their teachers, and have them learn love overall, kindness towards people. They just show you good manners, kindness, love, and that's something that I want my kid to learn and have her implemented since she's here.
Thank you. So there's a great testimonial from a parent who loved having their children here in our district in our amazing pre-K program. So there's many of those. So I highly encourage you to fill out the online interest form if you're interested, and then April 1st, register so that you can secure your slot here in our district and your child can be one of our YISD family members, which we are going to be super happy to have them join us.
Ceci, there are several questions.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go in reverse order because
Okay.
It was nothing and then it was a bunch.
That's okay. That's why we're here to answer them.
So first question, what paperwork can be used for proof of income if both parents are not working?
You know, go ahead and go through the slides. Go to my email. Go to the next slide there, Greg, if you can get to it. And it has my email address. Go ahead and email me and I'll contact our PEMS department, Alex, and he will let you know what proof of income you need. We've had a couple of those questions, so they do a really great job and they'll let you know exactly what proof of income you need, okay?
Okay, and then there was a question. Do you have to sign a transfer form before registering or after?
I don't know. Do you know, Leslie? I know it's part of the registration process, but I think once you fill out the registration, I don't know if there's a button there for transfer. If not, I think the clerk will go ahead and contact you about the transfer form, right?
Yeah, I think when you live out of district for accounting purposes, they do ask you to fill out the transfer. Okay, this question is in Spanish. Mi hija está actualmente en Head Start y ya tiene 5 directo, iría a Kinder. Necesito transfer.
So the child is 5 years old. The child is going to register. The child is going to Head Start, and the child is going to register in Kinder, right?
The question is, I guess, should my child be registering in Kinder? Answer is yes.
Do you want me to answer it in Spanish? I'm happy to answer it in Spanish. Okay. Si la niña o niño tiene 5 años en el día 1 de septiembre, la niña o niño va a calificar para el programa de Kinder. Okay. So tiene que registrar en la página social del Distrito de Isleta y luego ahí registra, escoge la escuela y luego ahí puede poner todos los papeles para registrar la niña en Kinder. Porque para Kinder tiene que tener 5 años para el 1 de septiembre.
Okay. Do 4-year-olds go full time?
Yes. For the 4-year-olds, it's a pre-K 4 by September 1st. It's a full day program. Yes, they do.
If I don't have the birth certificate, can I use my daughter's passport card?
I think that's another question that we're going to need to forward to Alex to get what is the exception to the birth certificate, okay?
Okay. What if both parents are not working? What can we use as proof of income?
Yeah, those are Alex's questions, and I'm happy to forward them to him, and he will contact those parents and get those answers for them, okay?
Okay, so what if you are living with a family member like a sister?
I know for that, I'm almost positive you have to get a notarized letter saying that you are living there as part of the registration process, okay?
Is preschool full-time?
Preschool, the 3-year-old program is a half-day program. Pre-K, the 4-year-old program is a full-day program.
Okay. What is the schedule for the half-day pre-K?
It's right here. The half-day program, good job, is from 7:30 a.m. to 11 in the morning, and in the afternoon, it's from 11:30 to 2:45.
Okay, if only dad works, do I have to send in the dad's income?
You're going to have to show proof of income. So, whatever the income is for the family, you're going to have to upload that.
Okay. ¿Qué edad pueden entrar cumplidos? Mi hijo cumple 4 en noviembre.
Ok, porque cumple el niño 4 de noviembre. En septiembre, este año, el niño puede ir al programa de preschool de los niños de 3 años. ¿Ok? Porque es la edad que tiene el niño el primer día de septiembre que nos dice por cuál programa el niño puede calificar. ¿Ok?
Okay, and then my child turns 5 years old before September, so he'll qualify for kinder, but he has a speech delay. Would he get help at North Loop Elementary?
Okay, go ahead, Leslie.
So all of our elementary schools have kinder, so he could, in theory, be supported at any of the schools, but it depends on the nature of his speech delay. So what you might want to consider is a special education referral, and we can do that now, or you can wait until you register at the campus and request the referral at that time. And if you just send me an email, my email is right there on the screen, larmbruster at YISD.net, I can help you get started on that process. Next question, will W-2 forms count as proof of income? Yes, I believe so.
I want to say yes. Okay, so my email address is there, cserna@ysd.net. So feel free to email me your proof of income questions. I'll forward them to our department, to the great people that work in PEAMS, to Jessica and Alex, and they always will either call you back or email you with the answer. Okay?
Okay. Next question. What is the nearest pre-K campus in the 79934?
What is 79934? Tell me what area of town that is.
I don't know, Ms. Nevares. If you want to answer, I can try to. And then the question, she also had the question that has half day. So I think we need to clarify preschool for 3-year-olds is half day, pre-K for 4-year-olds is full day, and 79934, I believe, is in the Socorro area.
Okay, so some of my parents that come from the Socorro area have enrolled their childs in preschool at Tierra del Sol, which is close to you, and Edgemere, which is also close, is close to you. So those are two that are pretty close to you. A lot of parents also choose campuses that are close to their work. We have some that work around this area that have put their children at Scottsdale or Sageland or Isleta Pre-K or Parkland Pre-K. Okay? So I hope that answers your question.
My son is currently going to pre-K at Sageland, but he won't turn 5 until January. Will he not be able to register for kindergarten? We need more information for this case, but if his birthday isn't until January, I imagine he's actually attending preschool at Sageland right now.
Right. That's what I'm thinking too.
On pre-K.
Mm-hmm. So if you want to email us with the specifics, we can go ahead and give you an answer, right?
Okay, can we get a list of which schools offer preschool?
Sure. You want to go back to that? We have it on the slide. Let me go to it real quick.
Okay,
And
and then
you can take a screenshot of it. Hold on. It is right there. Okay. Sageland, Scottsdale, Isleta Pre-K, Parkland Pre-K, Tierra del Sol, and Edgemere. There's six. We have 6 preschool sites.
okay, and then that's actually the next question. Loma Terrace tiene programa
No.
de mediodía.
No,
No.
so Loma Terrace kids historically have gone to Sageland, or some of them go to Isleta Pre-K. Okay, those are kind of the two that kind of feed into that area right there for preschool. Okay, Loma Terrace does have pre-K though. So if the child is 4 by September 1st, then they can go to pre-K at Loma Terrace. Okay.
Okay, and then what if they are attending EE? Do we register as a current student? I think the answer is yes.
Okay.
And then my daughter turns 4 in October, so she would register for the preschool half-day program.
That is correct. That is correct. Because remember, it's the age as of September 1st. Yeah. So this year, your daughter would be a preschool program for the district. She would need to qualify. Next year, your daughter would be part of our pre-K program, which is a full day program, and she would not need to qualify at that point. Okay.
And then just verifying, my child is turning 5 in May, so he does qualify for kindergarten.
That is correct.
Correct. And okay, so for Isleta Pre-K Center, can we drop off directly, or do they need bus transportation?
You know what? That's a really good question to ask Isleta Pre-K. Okay. If they go ahead, they can go ahead and call Isleta Pre-K, and then they can answer that question for them. Okay.
Okay. And then the question is, darán en español esta información? I don't know how to answer that. We could try to prepare a document, I think,
What is the question?
if we provide this information in Spanish.
No, but we can if there's a need for it. We're happy to do that. We can maybe get it translated, and then we can add it to the page where the interest form is, where this recording is. Okay.
Okay. And then the question is, what if my pre-K age child has a speech delay? Again, if you're concerned about any sort of developmental delay or disability, you can request a special education referral as of age 3, which means even now, before you register, if you wanted to seek evaluation, you could do that. Or you can register, and then once you're at school, you can request a referral for evaluation as well. Okay, then the question, can you show the slide again for pre-K 4 locations? Okay, and then the next question is, can you show the half-day locations? Okay, and then there's a couple more questions about speech delay. And again, I'll post my email in the chat. But if you want to just contact me or just the district and ask for the special education department, we can help you get started on an evaluation if that's needed.
Leslie, your email's on the screen right now. Okay.
Okey-doke. All right. And then, okay. Debo poner la opción pre-K aunque la registre. Okay, so the question is asking in Spanish. I'm just going to read it. En el transfer aplicación debo poner la opción pre-K aunque la registraré en preschool.
I think that if there's not a preschool option, then yes, they're gonna click the pre-K option. Okay.
Okay. Can my 2-year-old go to school or until they're 3 years old?
They have to be 3 by September 1st to go to school.
Okay, but it's important to note that if your child, our school year starts before September 1st,
Correct.
right? So our school year starts July 27th, I believe. So if your child has a birthday in August and they turn 3 by September 1, they can register to be in preschool as a 2-year-old.
That's
As
right.
long as they're 3 by September 1.
That's right. We've had a handful of 2-year-olds that start our 3-year-old program because their birthday is like August 31st or August 30th or something like that. Okay.
Question, does it matter if both parents don't live in the same household?
Go ahead and email me that question and we will forward that to PEEMS who verifies the income and they can get you an answer for that. Okay.
And then what if I forget to submit one of the documents for registration? Will the school contact me if that happens?
In order for you to be registered, you have to complete all of the documents. That's really, really important. Okay.
Can you choose the time slot for preschool or is it assigned to you?
It's assigned by the campus. Okay. The campus will assign the slots.
Okay, and then would a check stub serve as proof of income?
Okay. Usually a check stub does serve as proof of income.
Okay, my children attend Alicia Chacon. The pickup and drop-offs are at the same time at different locations and I live out of district. What can I do?
And are you trying to register at Alicia Chacon?
No, I think the problem is that Alicia Chacon doesn't have preschool or pre-K, so
Right.
how would she pick up all of her children when they all get released at the same time?
Yeah, I think I would go ahead and speak to the administrator of both campuses. The closest pre-K to Alicia Chacon is Lancaster. Okay. Presa is also very close to there. Okay. Presa and Lancaster are close in that area. And then I would go ahead and speak to the administrator at the campus and just let them know about your situation. Okay.
Okay, and then this is in Spanish. Si no tengo un bill a mi nombre, ¿qué otro documento puedo llevar?
Si me quiere mandar un mensaje, podemos preguntar al departamento para que le ayuden y le pueden decir cuáles documentos necesita para registrar.
For preschool, is proof of income required?
Yes. You don't have to qualify. However, they're going to ask you for proof of income. Okay, the reason that we're going to ask you for proof of income is because if you qualify, then we receive funding. So they're going to run every single pre-K student through the qualifiers. And you're going to be surprised how many people qualify. Okay.
My child turns 4 years old on July 28 of 2025. Does that mean he can go to pre-K?
Yes, because he's 4 by September 1st. Yes, he can go to pre-K.
My 3-year-old isn't potty trained. Will that be an issue to be accepted?
Okay, it's highly recommended for your child to be potty trained. We will help you in every way possible. You can email us. We'll send you resources. It's highly recommended, but it's not required. Okay?
Okay, about the bilingual ESL program. Will all children be tested?
Okay, and I'm going to turn that over to Norma.
Good afternoon. So for that, based on that question, no. So remember, if you want to go back a little bit to the home language survey, it will be based, the ones that will be tested is there will be 3 questions in the home language survey that is filled out during your application process. So which languages are used at home, which languages are used by the child at home, and which if the child had a previous home setting, which languages were used. If there is any other language other than English used in any of those 3 questions, then we will proceed for testing. If, let's say, there's only English on all those 3 questions, or English, NA as an example, then the student will not be tested for language.
Okay. And then Ms. Nevares clarified for us that 79934 is in the Northeast. So that would be Parkland Pre-K is your
That's
best option.
Yeah, it would be Parkland Pre-K. Yeah, Parkland Pre-K has preschool and pre-K.
And then, is there any updates that the parents receive while their 3-year-old child is in pre-K? I think this has to do with progress reports.
Yes, and so the 3-year-old child would be in preschool, okay? It's a half-day program in preschool, and they do have report cards, they have progress reports, they have all of those things. So you will be receiving a report card, you'll be receiving a progress report throughout the year.
Okay, so once registered, our 4-year-old, we would like her to attend Scottsdale. How do we know she's been accepted?
Okay, you're going to go ahead and register April 1st. You're going to select Scottsdale. You're going to make sure that you have all your documents uploaded, everything that's needed, and your registration is complete. And then the clerk from Scottsdale will contact you.
My daughter turns 5 in October, so would she be pre-K or kindergarten?
She would be pre-K because on September 1st, she was still 4, correct?
Correct.
So she would be a pre-K student.
Is preschool open enrollment?
It's open enrollment as far as you don't have to live in the Isleta area, but you do have to qualify for preschool.
All right. What is needed for transfer students?
I know the transfer form, but I don't know past that. So if you want to email me, we're happy to find that out and give you that information. Okay.
Generally speaking, it's the same registration documents for
Right.
all students. The only extra is the transfer
It's the transfer form, correct.
Can you show which documents are needed for preschool registration, please?
Sure. Do you want to go back to the documents, Greg? We're going to get there. I think it's the other way. Yeah, hold on. We'll get there. Go, keep going. Right there.
Okay. And then the next question after that is, can you show the eligibility requirements for preschool?
Okay, so you want to go back, Greg, to the eligibility? We're going to leave it a little while, and that way they can take a picture of that slide if they need it. Okay, you passed it, Greg. Right there.
Okay, and then another question in Spanish. Mi niño cumple el 5 de agosto 3 años. ¿Lo puedo registrar?
Sí, en el programa de preschool lo puede registrar porque tiene 3 años para el primer día de septiembre. Es un programa de mediodía, pero tiene que calificar para el programa.
Okay, and then there's a request again to see the schools for pre-K.
Okay, let's go back to the schools for pre-K.
And then there's a question, did Vista Hills used to have preschool and now they don't? And the answer
Vista
is
Hills has pre-K. Yeah,
right.
They don't have preschool. Yeah, they've never had preschool. They have pre-K. And they still have pre-K because they're still on that list. Okay.
Okay, and then the next question, los niños que son transferencia no califican para transporte?
I don't think so.
No.
No, right?
La política de transferencia dice que niños no reciben transportación. Okay. Who do I need to contact for resources for potty training?
You contact Leslie or Ceci.
And also, all of the preschool campuses have like beginning of the year activities, and so the preschool's campuses will most likely provide a version of potty training for parents as part of your beginning of the year. I would ask when I register. Okay. Mi hija ya tiene 5. Está en Head Start. Oh, I think we already asked that one.
Mm-hmm.
Should she go to kinder? Okay, so Ms. Ponce clarified, by updates, I'm asking for the child's well-being like daily updates, hourly updates. Is there any updates on my child? Not progress reports, but my child's well-being during the day, I guess.
For preschool or pre-K?
I think originally it was a preschool.
I know a lot of teachers, they use like Class Dojo, and I've seen them send information about the child. They send sometimes through Class Dojo, right? They send pictures of the child. So but very much that would be a question that you can ask the teacher when you are there for parent orientation.
Okay, so what pre-K school is for the 7 and 936, and also is there transportation?
That's the one you answered. 3-6 was the Northeast, and we talked about transportation, right?
3-4.
Oh, 3-4 is the Northeast. Okay, where's 3-6?
I believe that's where Socorro area is. And again, if you're an out-of-district transfer, part of the transfer policy is that you don't get transportation. We can't transport outside of district boundaries, but you're still welcome to enroll. We accept your enrollment. Para kinder sí tienen que calificar.
No, nomás en la edad. Tienen que tener 5 años para el primer día de septiembre.
Okay. Where is Parkland Pre-K located?
It's attached to Dolphin Terrace. And do you want to Google the address for Parkland Pre-K?
Okay, and then the question is, can you begin uploading documents before registration starts?
I think you have to wait till April 1st to register, and then you can start uploading documents. I don't know, but I would think that you would need to wait to register and then upload documents.
Okay, and then I don't have any bills under my name. They're under my mom's name. Do I actually need one under my name?
I think so, or you would need a notarized letter. But email me, and I will forward that to our PEAMS department, and they'll let you know what the qualifications are. Okay?
Okay, so I would like my daughter to attend in the Eastwood area.
Mm-hmm.
5 years
Pre-K or
old.
preschool?
She's 5.
Okay, so she's going to go to kinder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you want to show the kinders? One more slide over, Greg. Okay, and so Parkland Pre-K is on 9790 Pickerel Drive. Okay?
And then question, can we register now for kinder?
Not till April 1st. Registration opens April 1st for everybody, okay? So where were they asking, what feeder area? Leslie, tell me again.
Miss okay, I lost
Is
it.
it Hanks or Eastwood?
It was there was a question about registering in the Eastwood area.
Okay, so the Eastwood area, East Point, Eastwood Heights, East for kindergarten, right? East Point, Eastwood Heights, Eastwood Knolls, Edgemere, Scottsdale. Am I forgetting anybody? Those are all the ones that feed into the Eastwood area, right? I didn't leave anybody off. I think that's correct. Yeah. Okay.
What are the hours for kindergarten?
It's the same. I think it's 7:30 to 2:45. It's a full day of instruction.
Okay. And then, ¿qué necesito para calificar para niños de 3 años?
Va a necesitar los documentos que están en esta página. Go back. We need to register. No, the other way. No, you're going right. Yeah. Keep going. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Lo primero es que su hijo o hija no hable inglés. El segundo es que su hija o hijo puede recibir, how do you say free or reduced lunch? Norma, jump in here and help me with these.
Que pueda recibir alimentos gratuitos o reducidos, con el precio reducido. Que no tenga un hogar, homeless, que no tenga un hogar donde vivir, y que sea miembro de alguien, hijo de un miembro del militar o las Fuerzas Armadas y que o un hijo de una persona que estuvo en las Fuerzas Armadas y desafortunadamente se lastimó o haya perdido la vida en los servicios. Y el último, parte del Conservatorio del Departamento de Familia y Servicios Protectivos, que Ceci estaba explicando que es say that again, Ceci, for this part on the bottom,
Yeah, they have to be in the care of the Department of Family and Protective Services.
Deben de estar siendo parte de protegidos, o sea, proveyendo servicios de Departamento de Servicios Humanos o de proteger.
Thank you, Norma. Leslie, you're muted.
Sorry. Okay. Can we use a mortgage instead of a bill? I think the answer is yes. How do we make corrections to the application if we need to once it's been submitted?
I think that there's a phone number on the application where you can call and let them know that you need to make a correction. Okay?
For parents registering for kindergarten, what paperwork do we need?
It's going to probably be the paperwork, the same, which is the child social security number. Right there. I think this is a safe bet for everybody, right?
Okay, so my daughter is already enrolled in a SLED as a transfer student. Question, will they accept my 4-year-old at the same school?
She's enrolled at a set of pre-K as a 3-year-old program, in the 3-year-old program?
I think this is a sibling question. So an older sibling is already registered in Isleta. Will the 4-year-old registering this coming year be accepted at the same school? That is, you would go through the same process for enrollment and transfer, and the principal at the school will accept the transfer based on space. So it would depend on space, but yes, most likely.
And register, that's the most important thing, right?
Yes. How do we inform you what time block we want for the preschool, AM or PM?
Okay, so you're going to register, and once you've been accepted, that's a conversation that you can have with the attendance clerk, but the person that will assign whether you're AM or PM is going to be the campus, okay?
Is the 4-year-old pre-K all day?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Okay, en pre-K también es un requisito el idioma para calificar.
No.
Okay, ¿cuáles son los requisitos para kinder?
No hay requisitos para kinder, nomás la edad. Tienen que tener 5 años para el primer día de septiembre.
Okay, and then does it matter? My son has autism. It does not matter. I would recommend, however, if he's not already been evaluated by the school district, that you contact me so we can start that evaluation now and make sure to have an IEP in place with any accommodations that your son might need to be successful in school. I already have a 5-year-old at Tierra. Do I create a different login to register my 3-year-old?
I'm not sure about the different login. If you go ahead and email me, I'll ask Alex about that and we'll get you an answer before April 1st. Okay? I would think it's the same login, but I'm not positive, but let's find out. Okay?
Can we list the phone number here? Yes, we'll list the phone numbers again.
You want to go to that slide again real quick?
Mm-hmm.
The very last one that has the phone numbers. Okay, and then just a reminder, all of this whole presentation is going to be uploaded to our early ed page, okay? So it's always there as a reference if you need to pull it up again and say, hey, what did they say about the locations? And then on our YISD webpage, we have all of this information listed. We have the qualifications, we have the locations, we have all of that listed there for you already, okay?
Okay, so questions about when registration opens, it's April 1st.
That's correct.
What if my daughter doesn't have a birthday until October? Would she have to wait until next year to enroll?
It's the age as of September 1st that will determine the placement of the child. Okay, 3 by September 1st, we'll get them into preschool. 4 by September 1st, we'll get them into pre-K. Preschool's a half day, pre-K's a full day. 5 by September 1st, we'll get them into kindergarten, and that's a full day placement, okay?
Okay, so then they're requesting clarification on the eligibility
Okay,
because we showed the eligibility guidelines, but it was said that it doesn't go based off of income.
for
Pre-
pre-K.
Okay, so I think we need to clarify preschool, pre-K.
Okay, so let's go back to the eligibility guidelines and we'll go through that one more time, okay? Okay, here are the eligibility guidelines, okay? In order for your child to attend the half-day preschool program, any SLEDA, they need to qualify. So they need to be at least 3 years of age on or before September 1st of the current school year, and you need to meet at least one of these requirements, okay? At least one, and you qualify, okay? For pre-K, it's not necessary that you meet these requirements. The only thing that's necessary is the age. However, they are going to ask you for proof of income. They're going to ask you for all of these. They're going to ask you these questions because if your child meets any of these eligibility guidelines, we receive funding for pre-K. So the clerk is going to ask every single person that registers for pre-K for these documents, and they're going to go through these to see if we will receive funding. Your child will be accepted, but we're still going to go through to see if we receive funding. Okay?
Okay, so next question. If I have a transfer student that is not accepted at the desired school, can they apply to another school?
That's a good question to email, and we'll find out, right, Leslie? Yeah, because we want to.
Yes, I think as a parent, you can apply to as many schools as you want to request a transfer. It's the principal at the school that you're applying to that makes the decision. So I would say the answer is yes, but we can verify.
Okay.
The next question, what is the earliest time I can drop off my daughter at kinder at Eastwood Knolls? I think I would contact Eastwood Knolls directly to ask that question.
Right.
Okay. Para preescolar, ¿necesitas saber inglés?
No, porque hay programas donde hablan español.
Ok. El requisito hacer taxes o un tipo de income, me divorcié y él siempre hacía los taxes.
Ok. Mándeme un recado, un email, y luego nosotros vamos a hablar con las personas que están encargadas para saber requisitos que va a necesitar. Ok.
Okay, and then advice from parent to parent. When you're logging in for registration, you should be able to use the same login for all of your children.
Yay, I thought so, but I wanted to make sure. Thank you, the parent that verified that.
Ms. Vasquez, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Vasquez.
Is there any way or space available for my 3-year-old now? I did not know he would be able to go this past year in order for him to adjust to the full day pre-K. So what I'm understanding is your child was 3 as of September 1, and you'd like to enroll in preschool this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think the answer is yes, you can, depending on space. So I would contact the preschool site that you want to attend and see if they can take your child now.
Correct.
Where will this video be available for on-demand viewing?
It's going to be available in the pre-K page that's on the district website, okay? And it'll stay up there until, for a very long time, I'm thinking. And so it's there so that you can go ahead and access it. And review anything. Also remember that we're also available to help you. So if you have any questions, feel free to call us, feel free to email us. If we can help guide you or guide you to the right department that has that answer for you, we're always happy to do that, okay?
Okay, my daughter's adopted. I won't have her updated birth certificate by April 1st. Do I submit the court documents along with the birth certificate?
I would, and then I would also email me and I'll run that question by our PIMS department and find out if that's sufficient, okay?
Okay, ¿podría explicarme el requerimiento para lonche gratis o precio reducido?
Do you want to tell, Norma, you want to tell her about the application for free lunch?
Sí, claro que sí. Entonces, parte del requerimiento, parte cuando llenan la aplicación, le piden sus ingresos, entonces van a ver unas preguntas ahí y van a ver si califica basado en los ingresos, si el niño califica para comida reducida o gratis. Eso es parte de la registración y ellos le van a dar ese documento. Y también incluye parte de su ingreso, que preguntas o formularios que usted va a mandar de parte de su ingreso familiar.
Okay, and then what are the schedules for preschool again? And how do we know which one our child is put in?
Greg's going to show you the schedule. Here's the schedule. Remember that it's 187 days. It's like the regular school year. Monday through Friday, the half-day program is from 7:30 to 11. The afternoon session is from 11:30 to 2:45. You want to show them the schools real quick? You can choose the school that you want to attend. We do not put you in a school. When you register, you're going to select preschool and you're going to select which of the schools you want to register for. Okay?
And that looks like the last question.
Okay, going to the last slide. Okay, so on behalf of Norma, Leslie, Greg, and myself, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope that we convinced you that we are the best choice for your 3, 4, and 5-year-old child. We'd be very happy to have them join our Isleta family and be one of our littles that we love very much. Make sure that you register on April 1st. That's the most important thing. Fill out the online registration form if you're interested. That will help us guide the numbers of who's coming where. And then if you have any questions, I'm Ceci Cerna. My information is there. Feel free to email me. And if I cannot answer your questions, I will get you an answer, I promise. And if for any special education questions, Leslie's information is there. She can also answer your questions or find the person that can answer your question, okay? So on behalf of all of us, thank you so much. I hope that we were able to answer your questions. And once again, I hope we convince you that this is where you want to be and you're going to be ready to go to register April 1st. Thank you and have a nice evening.